Hello everyone, Counterspell Hater here, back with another EDH video or guide, depending on the way you look at it. So today is actually an EDH request made by one of my fellow commenters. Thank you for this request. And if you want to make a request too, first come, first serve. So be first to comment and make sure to type in the name of the commander and a specific like deck style you want me to build it in, so like Ramos artifacts or something like that. But other than that, comment anyways. I like feedback from you guys. Keep watching my videos. Go watch my other videos, and like and subscribe. Uh, keep the subscribe count going. Currently at 65. So keep that going up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss another one of my videos. And with that said, let's get to the request. So a lot of you may have seen this, but this was a request made by one of my commenters. So Trostani Selesyna's voice is a green-white life gain token generation commander because of populate and because of the ETB effect. So we are going to be using payoffs to get us a bunch of life and also like life gain payoffs and all that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Mara Tandris to protect our tokens. That way we can more easily swarm our opponents. And so mono red players have a hard time dealing with us. March of the Multitudes because of Convoke, because we'll be able, thanks to Convoke, we'll be able to pump X a whole bunch and create a bunch of tokens. Selesyna Theologist is in here for Graveyard Hate and Population at the same time. Rox Faith Mender, and just for context, as in populate to create tokens. Okay, don't take anything the wrong way. Rox Faith Mender, double up our life gain whenever we would gain life. Wayfaring Temple, just as a big old creature. And a token creator, so it's going to get bigger and bigger. Doubling season, double up on token creation, and counters we put on ourselves and or permanents we control. Panharmonicon to double up the ETB effect of our commander and other creatures or permanents we have on the battlefield. Bramble Sovereign, just to create tokens that are copies of creatures we control. Giant Edifice to make an army that can trample over small blockers. Mycolith is great because it enters with all those plus counters. So the more we pump into Devour, the more life we're going to get out of this when this enters the battlefield. Not to mention it's going to get us a lot of tokens, so that's a lot of life gain in itself. Trudge Garden can make us a not infinite but finite amount of fungus beast creature tokens, because whenever creature enters battlefield under our control, Trostani triggers gaining this life, and whenever we gain life, we can pay 2 generic to make a 4/4. So as long as you have mana, you can just keep on doing this and making 4/4s and gaining a whole bunch of life. Parallel Lives to double up on token creation again. Sandworm Convergence just as a way to deal with flyers. So we can also protect any planeswalkers we may have. And you can roll without this if the mana cost is too high, token production is too slow, because like I said, this is a guide, not a must. So this is kind of get you pointed in the right direction, just like all my other videos going over Commander. But with that said, let's move on. Voracious Worm can end up entering in as like a really big creature, like a 40/40 or something. Crater Hoof Behemoth has a win condition. Cadra Caller of the Small can create us a whole bunch more tokens. Risk of the Redeemed to double up on all of our tokens. Missouri's Predation is a hardcore counter to other people who may be playing Trostani or green-white decks, or decks that like to build a token army in general. This can just end up wiping most of them out because of what this card does. And Raise Forerunners, another great win condition, can help us block if we don't finish off someone or everyone. Court of Calling can help us cheat out a really big creature into play from our deck. Speaker of the Heavens, this is easy 4/4 angels as long as we have at least seven life more than our starting life total. Archangel Thune for when we gain life, to buff up our entire team. Addison Angel of Hope to protect our stuff with Indestructible. Divine Visitation, turn our tokens into 4/4s suddenly with Flying and Vigilance instead of what they would be. So in some situations that's not that good, but with what we're pumping out most of the time, pretty good. Gives us a lot of damage and in the air, mind you, and good blockers if they survive. Resplendent Angel is another angel maker. Crested Sunmare can make us horses, and they'll have indestructible. Song of the World Soul help us create tokens when we cast spells. Primeval Bounty do a whole slew of things like create tokens whenever we cast a creature spell, buff up a singular creature we control whenever we cast a non-creature spell, and gain us 3 life whenever we play a land. Heliod Suncrowned buff up our creatures whenever we gain life and give something life link until end of turn. Parametric God of Harvest help us ramp up whenever we cast a creature spell. Arasta of the Endless Web is kind of a hardcore counter to like instant and sorcery players. Scoot Swarm would definitely recommend this because of how out of hand it gets, and how most of the time in most color combination decks involving green, those decks can ramp out very fast, therefore triggering Scoot Swarm and start creating tokens that are copies of itself instead of 1/1s with no abilities. Xanthid Swarm help us get in damage easier by preventing the defending player from being able to cast spells on that turn that we attack. Living Hive is a great block. Attacker. I was thinking of Hornet Nest, I think. But Living Hive still a great attacker, especially when it deals damage. Hornet Nest, speaking of which, great blocker, because if it ends up dying but took a lot of damage, then it's going to create us a lot of 1/1s with flying. God Eternal Oketra, something we can keep on playing, so it'll keep on gaining us life. And it has double strike, not to mention we get 4/4s out of it whenever we cast a creature spell. Harvest Season. This will allow us to attack and get make an attack worthwhile, even if like most of our creatures may get wiped, although that's not ideal, but still. Also, if we're able to tap our creatures with Convoke, then Harvest Season could be cast, and we could get maybe even like our entire land base out. For this instance, it'd be all 50 or 48. I don't know how many basic lands I have. I'll see in a second. Second Harvest, double up on all of our tokens. Cryptolith, right, mana ramp. True Conviction as a win condition because of double strike and lifelink. Keep us in the game. Help us finish our opponents off. Juniper Order Ranger, buff up creatures that enter the battlefield and itself when they do. Sigarda, Hedron's Grace is in here to prevent our opponents from being able to use our graveyard, more precisely mono black players, by by exiling cards from our graveyard to create tokens. Nyx Bloom Ancient because why not? May as well pump like 32 billion or so into X. Vorinclex Voice of Hunger can shut our opponents down and secure our win and help us ramp up. Greater Good to draw some cards. Beast Whisperer draws more cards. Aetherflux Reservoir is a win condition. I was gonna have Zendikar's Resurgence, I think it is, to draw us more cards, but having a win condition honestly better. And this can gain us life, and can just blast someone. Abundance, can just cheat stuff into play. If we were to draw cards, and so we can do that. Well of Lost Dreams, draw us even more cards whenever we gain life. Gaia's Cradle is big ramp. Mosswort Bridge help us cheat something into play, thanks to Hideaway and what it does. We'll definitely have a board state that has more than 10 power. Windbrisk Heights will be able to attack with more than 3 creatures, so we can get Hideaway off of both these lands. Isolated Watchtower keep us ahead on lands in case we were falling behind the early game. And then from there we have 23 basic plains and 23 basic forests. So to answer your question, that'd be 46 basic lands you'd be getting if you were able to tap all your creatures, most likely because of harvest season. But with that said, that is the end of this request starring Trostani, Selesyna's voice. If you enjoy this, please like and subscribe. And first come, first serve. So leave a comment if you're the first. Then you can make a request, like the commenter did for this video. And I will fulfill my end of the bargain. I didn't get to it Friday because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's kind of my, days are off, even though this isn't a full-time job for me, but you guys can make it that way if you subscribe enough. Oh, and with that said, leave a like on this video and all my other videos. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, that way you don't miss another one of my videos. And I think that's it. Also comment anyways, even if you are not the first to comment. And with that said, I will see you all later. Goodbye.